understand something.
The thing that I like most about being a dad is that I see that I'm about to impact the world. Yes, sir. What's up? It's your boy Humble Dad back with another edition of Humble Dad Podcast. Got a great show for you this evening. How do I know? Because I said so, and it typically is because we are able to provide you with solutions and resolutions and not just talk about a topic, but give you something that you can take home with you and hopefully apply to your life. We do typically talk about marriages and relationships and how individuals work in those relationships. But tonight we're going to be talking about who should be president 2024. We're going to be talking about if it was a stage shooting. We're going to be talking about who's a better candidate and why. We're going to talk about Democrats, Republicans, and even talk about some write-in votes. Who would you write in if you decided to do so? But before we do that, we're going to get the get to know you question out the way. If you were to go on a solo trip, where would you go and what would you do? And we've been having some really interesting conversations in the back chat. This was not one of them, but the one that's the most hyped already. Welcome to the stage, Mr. Nathan.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
What's going on? You got to come off mute.
Am I answering the question? If I was to go anywhere, I would go probably to Paris.
Okay.
And I really want to try their food because I like to eat. So I want to see how they cook their food. So that's something that I would do.
That's what's up. Which Paris?
France.
Oh, okay. Is it Paris, France? Okay.
Is it? I don't know. Where the Leaning Eiffel Tower at? I don't know.
You might want to go. Okay, Paris. I got you. All right.
It's not. It's not.
At least it goes. Thank you for being. Welcome to the stage. None other than my homie, my friend, Chicago River.
What's up with it, HD?
I'm good, bro. What you got on the question?
Man, so listen, I thought about this. I really want to answer it outright, man, but I'll be honest with you. I'm a married man, man. There's not too many places that I want to go that put space and distance between me and the missus, man. I need mine, man. I used to take business trips when I worked for a particular company. And you think it's cool, like the first couple times you're doing, you think it's cool, and then man, you don't get the rollover, feel that warmness. Yeah, man. But if I had to pick a place, man, it's not necessarily a trip, but it's about as much space as I want between me and my wife where I would go solo, and that'd be down to the lakefront here in Chicago. Go down to the lakefront, grab a book, a nice sparkling water, cool out, kick it.
That's what's up. Okay, listen, I see you with the sparkling water. Is it a particular brand you rocking with?
Saratoga.
What is it?
Saratoga.
Saratoga. I don't know if I've heard of
it. I don't know how old the company is, but I just discovered it comes in a blue glass bottle. It is absolutely amazing. It is because I don't drink pop, so it is the close. Like if I have a pop fix, I just get sparkling water. But this is the best sparkling water on the market.
That's what's up. Appreciate you for being here, homie.
Yep.
And without further ado, the one that always keeps us sane and gets Prototype to change his mind.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. What's going on?
Nothing much. I'm excited. We've had a lot of fun already, so I'm excited to see how this is going to go.
You and your kid?
Yeah. So, I if I was to go on a solo trip, I would go to where I had planned to go before COVID, which I had a girls trip planned to go to Puerto Rico. And then COVID happened and I had to shut that down. And then I tried to rehash it and make it a family trip. And then we not a family no more. So now I'm just gonna go by myself. Like, you get what I'm saying?
I do.
Now I'm just gonna go and enjoy the resort because it's a beautiful resort, all inclusive. You know what I'm saying? Includes the food, includes the activities. You'd be a fool not to do it.
That's what's up.
Puerto
So you saying
Rico.
those that don't go are fools. Okay, I got you. Name calling already. Appreciate you for being here.
Thank you for
Welcome
having me.
Oh, absolutely. Welcome to the stage. None other than Mr. Bardo Tide. That boy-
It's a hard call for real. Like I know I would go a lot of places and I would just be happy about paying for myself. Because paying for your family is just so expensive, man. So I'm gonna find somewhere expensive as heck, and I'm gonna go and just pay for myself, and actually it'll be cheaper than anything else I would have did. So
So it don't even really matter.
don't even matter. Just the fact that I'm not paying for 6 people.
That's a dope answer. I'm sure somebody want to change their answer now. But sure. That's what's up. Anywhere I can go where my kids are not going. That's funny. And welcome to the stage, none other than the Barry Whites in these streets. Lost in translation.
Good evening, humble dad. How are you, sir?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
I'm well.
That's what's up. What you got?
The place that I would go would be to the Philippines. I want to finally meet my in-laws for a change. You know what I'm saying? If I was going to go somewhere, I'm going to go somewhere where I'm safe. You know what I mean? And somebody knows where I am and who I am. So I would definitely take a solo trip to the Philippines and meet my in-laws, man.
That's what's up. Philippines, man.
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't mind going back to India. I went there when I was like 25, but it was on business. So, and I would live there for like 6 months or whatever. But I didn't really get to embrace the culture, like I wanted to. But the vibe just seemed real cool. They almost treated me like a celebrity because, it's not too many black people.
Yeah, they take care of you over there, man.
Yeah, for sure.
They do. My mom beat me though. So I'm kind of jealous, man. She
Yeah.
beat me to the Philippines. So she's been there twice, man. So I got to get there, man.
Hey, plan you a trip, bro.
Oh, I am.
It's soon?
No, not this year though.
Oh, okay.
I got other plans this year.
Oh, okay. That's what's up.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go, man. Listen, we're going to start it off like this. Thoughts on the shooting? You know what I'm saying? Was it staged? Was it not staged? What's your particular perspective? With everybody is a conspiracy theorist, or if it was real or not. People start doing more studying to see who the shooter was than they do on their money. You know what I'm saying? And budgeting what's going on in their life, or even checking to see if God is real. Like it's like, man, is this real? Isn't that interesting? So let's talk about it. We're gonna allow you to go first. It's me, Jamie.
I was over here telling Loz he blazing in the chat. I wasn't even focused on what she was asking because I was just trying to. I didn't know he was
You didn't know he was Malaysian.
Filipino, so I'm over here like, oh, you Malaysian.
Wow.
Sorry. Okay, so here are my thoughts. I'll say this. I don't think that it was staged on his part. I do think it was intentional. And anytime to me that the government shoots the killer or the person shooting, it's usually because they're trying to cover it up. Sometimes they allow them to live and then they can question. But if you kill the person that shot, that fired the shots, you can't find out the what, the why, and the where. So and I would say that on several different news channels, they were asking for somebody to put a target on them and to, do something to them. If we look back and remember correctly. So we really shouldn't be surprised that somebody took the challenge seriously. So that's my answer. I'm gonna have I'm gonna have Prototype go because he just looked like
I
he would be
mean,
picked on or just
because it's like took the challenge. Like I don't know anybody in their right mind that's going to go after a president. You know what I mean? So I just don't understand how you could even deem that as a challenge worthy of taking. You know you're going to die. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you're not going to get away. Who's ever gotten away with it? Nobody. So I don't understand why somebody would just have a death sentence for him. But at the same time, I things like this I don't know because it's politics and I don't know how much conspiracy's in it. Who's the playing the role of I really don't know, man. I don't. It might be staged. I wouldn't be surprised if it came out with stage. I would be surprised if it was real though, to be honest, because it just doesn't make sense to me on why somebody would try to shoot him. You know what I'm saying? Like, just don't vote him in. Like, it's not really that big of a deal. But
That's what's up. I appreciate that. Who you got next?
let's go with Rilla.
Hey. So for me, I've learned to ask a lot more questions and get all the information before arriving at a confirmed or an informed conclusion. So my thoughts are just like preliminary. And they are as follows. If this was a legitimate attempt, what does that say about our Secret Service? All right. What does that say about protection that regular Joe Blow can climb up on the roof and attempt to do something like that? What does that say about their ability to survey the landscape and, pick out those possible angles that somebody could make that type of attempt? What are the now? Listen, I'm a neutron. I am not a gangbanger. I'm an L7. I remember one time we was coming home. Me and my homeboy was walking on the block, and we heard. The next thing we heard was, so like somebody was shooting. Bullets were whizzing past us, but we were so aloof because we were like, man, who would be shooting at us? Then it registered like, nigga, duck, right? So it took us a minute, right? But we weren't up there like fist raised, defiant. Yo, this is, as a country, we screwed, man. Like it's too much. It's too much. So I'm still waiting for more information to come out, and I'm waiting it to come from more credible sources than any of the big three that we see that are currently reporting right now. So that's my early thoughts on it, man. With that, I'm gonna kick it to fun size.
That's what's up. You had to be in the back chat. Yes, sir. Come on, Fun Socks.
Okay, I guess it'll be my new name. So I have mixed feelings about it because I don't know, I don't know how grimy politicians become, or how bad do you want? Like, what are you willing to do? How far are you willing to go? Like Chicago Rilla said, like, if you got shot at, why are you up doing a fist pump? I mean, I'm confused about how everything took place. So I don't know if it was real. I don't know if it was fake. I just know that the events on how things took place afterwards are very questioning. Like, I don't know, because I don't think I would be acting like that. Like, he wasn't even shook up, or face wasn't really, really red. So I don't know how to take like all the stuff that happened. Like, I don't know how to take him seriously after that, because I really don't know. Lost, did you give your opinion?
Not yet. William Shakespeare said it best: all the world's a stage. And I put it to you like this, man. They said that history doesn't repeat itself, but I'm here to tell you that it sure does rhyme. You know what I mean? It's always the same narrative. And I kind of had it figured out. Me and some of the fellas were joking about it the other day. We were saying, watch, they're going to say he was a lone wolf. They're going to have the thoughts and prayers already loaded and ready to go. It's the same story. And they're going to probably pull somebody who went to school with him. And they're going to say he was probably abused. They're going to probably say that he was mentally ill, you know, and it's the same script. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to tell what's real and what's not, because we keep hearing the same things over and over and over again. You know what I mean? And it's always the same story. It may be different players, it may be different characters, but the script never changes. So my whole thing is, do I think it was fake? No, I don't. But I think the news people need to learn how to tell better stories, because we've heard this one before. And I'm gonna leave it at that, HD.
Man, that's what's up. I appreciate everybody's take. So I think I know that everybody has some type of perspective on the shooting, whether it was staged or not. What I said yesterday, when I did a little short recording, I said whether it's staged or not, it's a really bad idea, right? So whether Trump may have been in on it, it was a bad idea, or whether somebody actually attempted to assassinate him was a bad idea, because it doesn't do anything for, well, I guess the thing that it does for our country is to continue to divide us, because the people that don't, it's almost as if like the people that don't like Trump, they already have said, you know, it's a matter of he had it coming to him, or they would say, well, he's trying to get sympathy votes. People that are with him would say, you know, it was, they're against him, so they're trying to take him out, right? So it just continues to do the thing in which the devil has done so well, which is to make sure that people are divided so that he can conquer, right? Now, if we were more together in understanding that if we work together as a unit, like we would do more as a people, and we wouldn't necessarily need politicians to do our bidding. You know what I'm saying? So, and so for me, I would say I'm looking at it logically, right? I think, and when I say that, it may be a slight to most people, and I'm okay with that. The logical thing is to look at it like this. Why would somebody stage somebody shooting at them? Because it wasn't a fake bullet. You know what I'm saying? It was a real bullet, right? Why would somebody who's already winning risk his life for a position he don't really need? Right?
Right.
Why would a person why would a person decide to do such a heroic thing? I don't know that to be even in a I don't even know that to somebody had wrote that as in a book or a movie, other than Machiavelli, I think, to stage their own death, right? Or try to assassinate themselves. And it's so unfortunate that the media could get to it to explain to people, because I didn't watch any media. I just saw the video, really, and then just heard people saying that it was staged. And so I just went based on some logical transitions. That why would a person that such as Donald Trump want to lose his life? Because shooting at me is very possible for me to die, right? As opposed to the narrative of they don't want him there. Like I think that's important for people that are paying attention to the matter, is that Republicans or Democrats do not like Donald Trump. And we'll get to that in a later session. Dwayne, welcome aboard. What's going on with you, bro?
Had to make sure the mute monster didn't get me. What's going on, beautiful people?
Doing well, bro. Hey, I know we already know. Go ahead. Thoughts on the shooting, bro.
Man, oh, shoot. I'm just keep this short. You know what? If you can't beat them, shoot them. If you can't beat them, shoot them. Okay. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Bruh, you said so much more than that when we talked, my guy.
Yeah, but we're gonna leave that for a later session.
Oh,
But
okay,
yeah,
okay. I was like, you gonna talk to me for a whole hour. You know what I'm saying? It gonna get
Dwayne said, if you can't beat them, yeet them. You know what I'm saying?
that's what's up. Anybody have something to add or on this before we move real quick?
Yeah, I just would encourage people to really let's just wait till we get all of the facts.
This
is really one of them situations, right? Because we can speculate, you know, the whys, the hows, the ifs. We could do, you know, if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk, right? We could do that till the cows come home. But this really is one of them situations. And we should have learned this, like, you know, at least in 2016, that you wait till you get the information so you can have an informed decision, and then you can arrive at your conclusion once you get all of the information. It's just, for me, it's just still too early, and there's still a lot more questions than answers right now. So I just encourage everybody in the listening audience, like, get all of the information. Don't do these goofy reposts, all that stuff 50 Cent doing and people making fun of it and saying like, oh, he survived. Like, that is not cool. You are adding fuel to the fire. So everybody relax, calm down, get all the information, and then we can proceed accordingly.
I need to understand why this guy's worth a bullet.
Oh man, the disrespect on that one is real. Come on,
a legitimate question. Go ahead, Dwight.
Worth a bullet.
Why? Yeah, why is he worth a bullet?
When you say worth a bullet, you're saying like he wasn't worth like he. Let me elaborate on that for me, real quick.
Why is he worth the trouble of taking him out? Like, why is he worth a bullet? Why is he worth the strategy? Why is he worth any of that? Like, why is he to me? He's not worth a bullet. He's not worth the effort to put a bullet in him. He's not. Like, why?
Oh yeah, yeah. So remember when, from the Bible, when Jesus, there was that guy, he was possessed by demons, like he was a lunatic, right, in the caves, and Jesus had an interaction with him, and Jesus healed him. I'm getting there, prototyping. I'm getting there. And Jesus healed him, and the spirits that were in him went out and they went onto the pigs. Now, those pigs then ran off of a cliff, and the guy, the people of the town came out, and the owner of the pigs came. They were upset, not the fact that the man could talk, but because the pigs ran off the cliff. So they didn't even pay attention to the miracles in which was happening. It was about how much money now they lost because the pigs ran off the cliff. What I'm getting at is Donald Trump has been talking about, and if you go back and you look at the interviews that he's done, for me, what's important for me is consistency. 30 years back with Oprah, why would Oprah have a racist on the show? Anyways, the interview he had with Oprah, he was talking about how we meaning America, whether you're black, white, Mexican, whatever, America was being ripped off by these other countries, right? And he was talking about how our money is being sent to these other countries, and he's not blaming the people from the other countries. He's blaming our leaders here, right? So when HD just now said he's not liked by Democrats and he's not liked by Republicans, that's something for us to start to pay attention to. Why? Because now, why is he worth a bullet? Because now he's messing with their money. If you go back and listen to the inauguration speech that Donald Trump gave, he said he's turning over the government from the government back to the people from a government that didn't represent us. So if you go back and listen to that speech, he's telling you why it is that they would want to kill him. He's transferring power back from the government that no longer represents the people back over to the people. It doesn't matter what your skin color is. America ain't about a skin color. It's about a group of people with a common idea.
That was good.
So
high level.
why would it? So you're saying he could do that from the presidency?
Most definitely. Like if you look at from one thing, whenever Barack Obama said, "What is he gonna do? Is he gonna wave a magic wand?" Oh, that was very cute, Obama. He said, "No, I ain't got any waves, no magic wand. All I need to do, just like what Obama said he had a pen. All he needed to do for the corporate interest rate to bring the jobs back is lower the corporate income tax rate from 35% down to 21%. That's all he had to do, and that's a strategy that could have been could and was done." From the position of the president. So here you had one president saying that this wasn't possible, and somebody coming in and showing it that it was possible. People ain't mad at Donald Trump for not doing what he said he was going to do. People are mad at Donald Trump for doing exactly what he said he was going to do.
Lost on you.
Appreciate it. He said whether he's worth a bullet or not. Donald Trump represents the upset of the apple cart. Back in the day, we used to have this thing called neocons. These were Republicans who were actually for war. You know what I'm saying? They were for war for profit, warmongers, if you will. And they always wanted to go to war because some of their buddies, were running things and they were getting paid for it. Okay. Then on the other side, of course, you got Democrats. They want to spend money helping people, always helping, sending money here, sending money there, but instead of helping people here, and neglecting those who actually put them into office. Well, here's the thing. When you're hated on both sides, because he represents a new version of the Republican Party, there's no more Newt Gingriches. There's no more none of those guys. You know what I'm saying? No more, what was his name? Mitt Romney, not Mitt Romney, but the other guys. All those guys are gone, man.
McCain, Cheney's.
All of them are gone, man. And my thing is this. That's why I always tell black people, man, make sure that you understand all of politics and not just your team. You see what I'm saying? How can you understand how to know what game you're playing if you don't know the rules of the game and you don't know what the other team is going to do? How can you do that? So my whole thing is this: we have to pay attention to exactly what's going on the entire field versus our corner of the stadium, what we can see. Because if you take a step back, if you watch the whole entire game, it's like what Dwayne said. They're actually returning the power back to the people, and this United States corporation don't like that because they have people in places who benefit from us staying the same way. There are also people who want to change things in a way that does not benefit us at all, and it will make it worse. Think about it. The middle class has shrunk. Well, they've been talking about that since 81. What's going to happen to the middle class? So now all we really have is the ultra rich and the ultra poor, and it's going to be a matter of time before the ultra rich get what's left, So I think that's probably the reason why there's such an inswell for support for people like Donald Trump, because the people in the middle who do most of the work, I think they should probably get the lion's share of the money since they're actually doing the work, if you ask me. But like I stated earlier, when you are for the people who in power don't like it at all, and especially the ones who don't have the courage enough to make themselves known and say, hey, I don't like you. So what they'll do is they'll pull strings behind curtains that we have no idea exist.
Jamie, you have something to add?
I can't really because I had a bad delay. So it's just real bad. Like I can't get rid of it.
We can hear you.
Everybody's
still.
It's all good.
All right, bet. All right, cool. So with that being said, I think it's I want to be as open and fair as possible. Like I'm going back and forth with one of my kinfolks, and he seems to think that I'm misguided, right? When I'm saying what I'm saying as it relates to that Trump is not liked. So it's not like I'm not for Republicans or Democrats. So just for the record. Okay? My number one issue that I stand on is the termination of innocent babies. That's my stance. I think everybody else can pretty much, once they hear, they have an opportunity to make the most of their circumstance and their situation, even if they have a bad upbringing, right? I mean, there are people who have, I don't know if y'all know, but like Tim Tebow, they told his mother to terminate him, right? Are y'all aware of that? Thumbs up. Hold up, was you aware of that? All right. Renee, was you aware? Rilla? Okay. So she had got sick and she was on a mission trip. And so they said, well, you're going to either lose your life or something like that. But she was like, no, I want to have this baby. Well, Tim Tebow is just one of many survivors who have become big time talking heads for the elimination of terminating babies, as well as advocates for how we function in society, right? Lost in Translation talked about it last week. I think it may have went over some people's heads of like when you take it upon yourself to take a life from somebody, you have just made the decision of God, as well as to say that their life is not worth it, right? Coming into this world, regardless of the circumstances, because everybody, well, a lot of us come from really bad situations and have made it to a particular position to be able to talk on it. So what I want to talk about first is, in your opinion, and you got to be objective. I know it's going to be challenging for some like myself, but what is good about Democrats? What is something good about Democrats? I'm going to give you a moment to think about that because, like I said, I was on a thread with my kinfolk, and they seem to believe that there are some really good things that the Democrats want, and so I'm listening with an open mind. But once again, I told you I have one thing that I think about, but I'm always willing to listen, right? So we're going to start off with Prototype. What is one good thing about the Democrats or their platform?
I mean, they make the majority of Black women feel good. Other than that, I don't know. But like, I mean, they pander a lot, so it's the only good thing. They make Black women feel, like empowered. But other than that, I really don't know. I mean, but I can say that about both sides, though. I don't know what's good about either one of them. So.
That's fair. You have a small delay though, Proto. I can get with that. Who you got going next?
All right. Let's go with Renee. I want to jump at Dwayne, but I want to go with Renee.
You have a small delay, Proto.
Okay, I'm gonna try to fix that. Give me a second.
All right, Renee, on you.
That's a really good question, and it's very thought provoking.
That's the goal.
I think a good thing about Democrats is that they that's a really good question. They are, I guess, for the middle class, or the fairness of the middle class people. So I think that's like one of the good things about Democrats.
Okay, so you got that they're for the middle class.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that they're good pandering to Black people. All right, who you got going next, Renee?
Jamie.
So they believe in protecting the environment. I don't know if that's good, but I was gonna say like the trees, you feel me? But I don't. While simultaneously killing them at the same time. Asking that question about Democrats is really interesting to me because they're hypocrites. Like, they are the people that tell you
no, we can't go there yet. We can't go there yet.
I'm about to mute myself then. Here we go.
We can't go there yet. All right. I have a goal of mine. Go ahead, Dwayne.
Mute monster.
Thank you.
That's what be putting me out.
I got two of them going. I got two mutes going. Okay, I got these kids hollering in the background at times, so I'm like I'm over here. It's complicated.
Listen, keep the arrow button where that mic is. That might help you out.
Hey, I ain't mess with you. All right. So I would say they care about the welfare of the state, or the welfare state, that the welfare, the welfare of the poor.
They
A
care
black.
about the welfare of the poor. Okay. You might have
That's
to elaborate on that. But okay, who you got going next?
Rilla.
Y'all should see y'all respond.
Yeah, because I'm like, what did I sign up for?
Listen, I always ask these type of questions. I don't know.
No, I love it. No. I'm messing with you. I love it. And you know, I love the way you do your show, man. This is the big kids table. I think one good thing about the Democrats is that on surface, at least, it appears that they embrace a lot of youthful energy. I think, I think it's good to, you know, I don't think being progressive in terms of a true thought pattern, like progressing with modern times or whatever, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's I think it's also good to embrace new energy, new ideas, especially when you're talking about young folk. And it seems like, at least on the surface, that they do a really good job of embracing youth. Right. So with that, I'm kicking it to Lit.
You know, I'm gonna be objective. I take it upon myself as a challenge. I think one of the good things that the Democratic Party does is that they give the illusion of inclusion. They give everybody a seat at the table, so to speak. You know what I mean? If there's a special proclivity that you have, they give you an opportunity to have your say and your speak at the table. So I'm gonna give it to them that way. They give the illusion of inclusion.
Yeah, that's good. So the thing that I see is, it's hard for me, right? It's hard for me to give a positive, but I wanted to challenge myself in doing so. One of the things that I think they do a good job of is propaganda. And, what I mean by that is propaganda doesn't always have to be bad, right? Because the goal is to get people to move in a certain direction. But at the same time, it could be propaganda to where it's a misdirection with misinformation, right? So I would say that they do a good job of propaganda. And so they're able to say one thing, right? And it be something totally different in which it meant, right? So that's what I'll say here. Then we're gonna transition to, does anybody want to elaborate on their particular position? Because we're gonna transition on the other side. All right, ready. Okay, so the next question is, what is good about Republicans? What is good about Republicans? Lost, you went last, so who would you like to go first in this one?
I want Renee to go first.
Hey,
Let's see. This is a very thought-provoking question.
yeah, like when the I don't know if you know, but when the intro goes, that's what it says on the intro.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I'm having to take it in and like really sit and think. Like, I'm really having to think.
Do you want us to come back to you?
I'm gonna get mine right now because I don't want to come back because y'all might take all the good ones.
That's a fact.
A good thing about Republicans is that they really believe that the laws were made with everybody in mind. And I'm gonna go with Prototype Mix.
I really got the same answer, but I feel like the identity of the family is not attacked when it comes to Republicans. But even still, I'm just trying to get to the bottom of what do either party do for anybody? You know what I'm saying? Other than expressing ideas, and like what's really being done by anybody. And that's what I'm waiting. I'm here to really listen.
Yeah.
It's for y'all to tell me what is anybody doing? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? 'Cause that's why I'm like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Talking about what we feel like. This is it's lightweight stupid. And I'm like,
Ideas. I
can
like
we
that.
get somewhere? Can
Yeah.
y'all tell me what
Facts.
people are actually doing in either party?
Yeah, that's the whole point, Proto. I need
So go with Dwayne.
it's okay, man. It's a delay on you, Proto. I don't know what it is. It's a we need that energy, bro. Yeah,
Live.
you have a delay. I have to go out and come back in.
Done deal. Man, I really wanted Prototype to be here for this one. The Republicans, they sell fishing poles. They don't give you the fish. They sell you the fishing pole.
Okay.
So where like they say, like pull yourself up by the bootstraps. No, it's like, hey, the opportunity's out there, the sea is out there. Go catch as many fish as you want. We're not going to sit here by the shore and give you the fish for free, or not for nothing's for free. That's how I say the other side is. So the Republicans are going to be like, hey, you're going to have to work for it. You're going to have to work for what you want. And once you work for what you want, the sky's the limit.
Can I ask how do Democrats get you stuff for free and Republicans make you work?
That's what I wanted to. That's why I kind of hesitated. So it's not necessarily for free because nothing is for free, right?
I'm not even talking about the idea. I'm talking. I want you to speak to, because I know we only got a whole bunch of time. Speak to how are Democrats giving? What are they giving? And what are the Republicans?
Oh, well, like for like what you said, right? That's for with making black women feel good. Well, they went to their doors and they were like, hey, is the man home? Well, if he's home, we'll give you money. If he's not, so they're giving them something. Like they were giving them welfare for money for the man.
So you're saying welfare is the Democrats' fault?
No, I'm saying welfare is a system in which the Democrat uses to offer things to people for free to enslave them. And I'll even give you another example. This might sound harsh, but it's like, don't feed the animals. Because when you feed the animals in nature, they lose their ability to hunt.
I don't want examples. I want actual.
So I just did. So again, from the welfare state. So the Democrats, they are about welfare. So they're going to give you something in return for you giving up something. I used the analogy the other day.
So is welfare not a government program used by everybody?
It is a government program, but that government program is predominantly pushed by Democrats. Food stamps, EBT. It's not pushed by Republicans. That's why they want to take your food stamps. They want to take.
But it's available.
Well, can I just ask Dwayne? Can I ask you a question real quick?
Absolutely.
So, do you know like who's like majority on the welfare register?
White people.
Yeah, but do you know the demographic, their geographical location? Do you know what kinds of white people?
Predominantly rich in richer. Is that what you're trying to get at?
No, rural.
Okay.
Rural areas.
Like poor white people.
Red dominated areas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it speaks more to the piece, and I'm not attacking. I'm just asking because I want to add balance and context so that we don't,
No. So also let me also state this too. There, if you're poor and you're white and you need the help, cool. If you're poor and you're black and you need the help, cool. But whenever it's divisive, so whenever it now comes in and harms you, that's the issue. So for the black community, how does welfare harm the black community? So whenever it was instituted, whenever you were better off and you would get more money when the father was not in the home, we can all say on this panel, if I'm not mistaken, one of the biggest problems in the black community is fatherless homes. Would I be mistaken on that? Okay, so if that's a problem, I'm not going back to an instance where there was an incentivization using something. I was using fish earlier, but using something to get something in return. That's what I'm pointing out. So whenever the Republicans are coming up and saying no to the welfare state, Like, will it impact the poor white folks in the rural community? Possibly. But just like as for creating safety nets for instances like that, there are those things that are available. I'm now talking about the abuse of the welfare program. So there should be a safety net. Yeah, that's good. We don't want anybody to fall. But whenever it's being abused and whenever it's using in order to enslave a group of people or enslave people.
How is it?
Yeah, but that's the part we
enslaving?
got to be careful with,
Who's-
though, because we continue, because that's a narrative that's pushed, right? And that's not just exclusive to Black people, is what I'm saying. The idea that people are on welfare for generations deep.
Hey, forgive me.
Okay,
forgive me. Let me also forgive me. Let me also state this. Slavery is a predominantly big issue in America, and we say slavery. Whenever we think about slavery, we think about Black people. Slavery is not just associated with Black people, right? So whenever I say as for enslaving people, I'm not talking about just Black people. I'm talking about Americans as a whole. So whenever you have these programs, even the same thing will apply to white neighborhoods. I'm just saying what we talk about here is the impacts on the Black community. So as for the white community, are they impacted? Absolutely. Absolutely. And as for that, enslaving is, again, going back to don't feed the animals. You lose your natural ability to hunt. And whenever you lose that, you become you put yourself in danger. You put your generation, generations in danger.
So
because
the fact that and your FBA is not showing.
No, I'm not FBA.
I know. This is why the fact that you even think that this is the reason why the Black man are in the home or welfare aids in the Black man not being in the home is crazy to me.
So if you want to take it to that extent, this is how I'll say it's twofold. You had Reagan and you had Bush. You had two Republicans. One of them, as for with the drugs, the war on drugs, that's another part of the wheel in that system that entrapped the black folks. So that's on one side. I'm also then talking about the welfare state on the other side. So as for what you're doing is taking the Black fathers out the home, right? From the war on drugs. Guess what? He ain't got no jobs. He ain't got no opportunities. So what's he out there doing? He's hustling. And then what do? You lock him up. And then what do you offer the mom? Hey, we're here to help. We're here to help. So what's going to if there's a man in home, you'll get less money as a handout. So I'm all for a hand up, but a hand out, that's where it's like that should be.
Brother Dwayne,
we address the
saying
problem,
that's very dangerous to keep saying that like that, brother.
We got to address the initial problem that we don't have jobs and we don't have the opportunities been stripped away. You know what I'm saying? It's like the crabs being in a barrel. They shouldn't be in a barrel in the first place.
I strongly agree.
So,
I strongly agree. I strongly agree.
Wait, hold on real quick. Cardo, finish that thought. You said, go ahead.
I was just saying, like the initial issue of the fathers not being in a home, and you're like using welfare as a way to say, oh, it's a part of the problem.
What was it a factor? Was it a factor?
No.
Welfare
you know what's welfare done for so many of us? A lot of us couldn't eat without it. A lot of us couldn't even, like, we had nothing without it. Like, that's all we could look forward to. So I'm not blaming welfare for any of our issues. The issue is that the men can't, were being locked up and didn't have the opportunities in the first place. It's not the welfare. Yes, that might be a small little band-aid, but that's nothing to discuss what the true issue is about the man not being in the home and us being incarcerated at the rate, and us selling drugs at the rate we did, and not having these opportunities where we're taking the job training out of schools. There's so many parts that played a role in destroying the Black community. Welfare is way down the list.
That's a factor. And that's what I'm bringing up as a factor.
It's almost a non-factor, though.
No, it's definitely not a non-factor, because again, whenever the government isn't, and I've said this on other shows before, as for whenever we talk about systemic racism, I ask, what's the system? The system is the government. Whenever there's government programs that are put in place that are going to remove men from and even we talk as for when we talk about the whole abortion thing, right? Women are now saying my body, my choice. Like the man just doesn't have a role to play in that whole thing, right? So it then incentivizes the man again to not take responsibility. Whenever you have the women given the opportunity to, as for uplifting them to say, hey, you know what, you'll get more money if the man is not in the home. That's a problem. That's the problem, because guess what the man's going to do? He's shit. He don't have to work as hard because there's money coming in. So I'm now pointing out, just even if it's a small thing, even if it's a small factor, it is a factor. And I'll even say it like this. I'm not saying, I'm offering one side. One side is the Democrat side, and the as for the welfare state. That's one side. The other side I stated as for the prison system, the prison industrial complex, where guess what? That whole cycle. So that I'm pointing out as a problem too. It's not just like what you said earlier. Whenever you answered your question, you could see the bad on both sides, or you struggle to see the good on both sides. I'm just saying the same thing whenever I'm pointing out as for the welfare state on one side. And I'm also then talking about the prison industrial system on the other side. Those are two systems as for systematic racism that can and does impact the Black community, but it's not exclusive to the Black community.
Got you. Hey, Lost, let me get you in on here. What you got?
So you want me to say what's good about the Republican Party?
And then, or you can respond to Dwayne and Prado's conversation.
Oh man, that's so juicy, man. I don't know which one to start with. You know what I'm saying?
I know,
but I'm gonna try to tie both of them together, and hopefully we'll get some understanding. To tip on what Dwayne was talking about. To answer the question, what is good about the Republican Party? They believe in free enterprise. Basically, what that means is that you can actually go out and do what you need to do for yourself. You know what I mean? They're going to let you take care of whatever you have to do, let you have all your money so you can do whatever it is you need to do to protect your family and your friends. You know what I'm saying? To create the type of businesses that you would like to, and to serve your community and those types of things. Now, to talk about what Prototype and Dwayne were talking about, man, this is going to take some finesse. And Humble Dad, stop me if you've ever heard of the term Hegelian dialectic. Are you familiar with the term? All right, let me explain to you what it is. The Hegelian dialectic is a term that was coined by Mr. Hegel. And basically what it is that it is where you introduce a thesis, which is a problem. Then you introduce the antithesis, which is the answer to the problem, and you put those together and you get synthesis, which is what actually is it's supposed to be better than what you started out with. Well, the problem is that the Democratic Party is excellent at the Hegelian dialectic. They will actually cause a problem, then introduce you to the answer to the problem, and then at the end of the day, you wind up being worse than what you started off from the beginning. You see what I'm saying? If you do a little bit of research on that, that's exactly what they're good at. Some of us are not slow. Some of us know exactly what's going on. And I think that's probably what Dwayne was probably trying to say, is that these people caused the problem, which you probably didn't see, which is in the form of Jim Crow, in the form of sundown towns, harassment, messing with Black folks or whatever. Then all of a sudden it's like, hey, we can help you out. You don't have to go out, to get your groceries from over here. We'll let you, do this and you'll spend your money over here, and then after that, you stop spending your money in your own neighborhoods, which circulates your own dollar, which helps your own people. And then you spending your money over somewhere else, getting them rich, while all at the same time, while you're working 2 and 3 jobs, not educating yourself, not bettering yourself, but just becoming a better slave for someone else's corporation. So that's what happens is when Black people stop inventing things, they stop getting credit and patents for things in the future that they can get paid for. Those are called royalties. Well, not that many Black people own royalties, which is how most people get paid. They invent things, they come up with things, and then they get royalties, and then they find out other creative ways how to keep that money in the family by forms of trust and that type of thing. But the problem is if you keep your people always busy chasing the bag, They never build the infrastructures to help themselves. So that's the reason why the Democratic Party is so, how should I say this? So nefarious with their ways, because they hide it in plain sight as always saying, we're helping.
Proto, did you have a question? Because I know you was thinking.
I don't know. I've used welfare plenty of times throughout my life. As a young man, as a college student, as a single father, I used all those benefits, and I'm not, I got free education out of it at some point. You know what I'm saying? Some certifications and all that. So I'm not mad at the welfare system that I didn't stay on it long, but at the same time, to say that it was a problem, it wasn't. I just think there's so many cogs to the wheel on the issues. To speak from one perspective, like, oh, welfare is the problem. Not really. The Bible is an interesting thing, right? And it's the one thing that says, a nuclear family is the only way, and it fixes all the problems. So I've been an advocate in that. I think HD, we had this conversation when we first began, that the solution to all our problems in the Black community, and regardless of what anybody's doing for us, is a father in the home, is the nuclear family. So without it, we have nothing. So there's nothing nobody can do, or government or anybody can do, without the nuclear family being the main center point, fixing that first. So when it comes to the rest of these government issues and what side to choose, I have no opinion, because it really doesn't matter, because the only thing that fixes all this garbage is the nuclear family.
James, did you want to speak to that?
I mean, like, he's right on it. I mean, if you're, one is submitting to God, right, first, and then being leaders in your own household. And because we're mismanaging our own households, we're not able to, we're fighting with these little things, with these people who don't care about us. And so I agree with Prototype. At the end of the day, it is getting and restoring the nuclear family, whether that be in Black homes or different races, but for sure in our home, so that we can make better decisions. Like, for instance, Black people just voting Democrat, sometimes it's just because your family did it, right? But we're not able to sit down with our families and have these discussions like we're having here, to say, okay, like Prototype asking the questions, well, what's wrong with Democrats, or what's wrong with Republicans, or how is this affecting my life? Because I utilize this resource here, and I didn't make it my entire life. I just made it a stepping stone. Do you see what I'm saying? So Prototype looks at it differently, because he didn't utilize it as a crutch. He didn't make it a crutch for him. He made it a stepping stone. Well, Prototype, your mindset is different, right? Because if you go into our Black neighborhoods, they do make it a crutch, because it's all they know. Mama had 5 kids because every time she had a kid, the food stamp money went up, and it made sense, right? She was literally getting paid to lay on her back, and then not having to have a man in the household, which would cheat on her anyways, because that's what her mama said in the first place. So we had to think about people's environments and perspectives on why the decisions have been made. So I like Prototype's questions, because it makes you go like, okay. And then when you said, I utilized it, right? And I utilized it as stepping stones, because your life is different now, but it's not that for many people. And there was something that Lost had said that I wanted to touch on, but I completely forgot, because I'm old, and if I don't write it down, you feel me, then my old mind.
You writing the things down for sure.
Oh, and
I did give you quite a bit.
Yeah,
I did give you quite a
but
bit.
it was like more towards the end, where I was like, yes, like he had hit, like it was just something I wanted to pull out. But to answer the question, for Republicans, I would say that they have what you call conservative values, that more align with my biblical beliefs. Not all of them, right? But majority of them that actually mean something to me, like like making sure we don't just randomly kill babies, or that we do give the more power to the people. those are things that I do hone in on and believe solely that the power should be more in the people's hands, wise people's hands. Let me bring that back. Wise people's hands, okay? Because a lot of these people are not wise right now. And it gives a moral foundation. What I'm saying is, like, with the other ones, it's just do whatever you want. If you feel like being a cat, you can be that. And that's not logical. You know what I'm saying? We have lost all logic and sense with another party. I have, at the high school, there's kitty litter in the bathroom, okay? Because some kids feel like they associate with being a cat. I mean, where is the sense, right? Where have we have lost common sense? And so I feel like with the Republican Party, there's a level of common sense maybe that is being taken out of everyday people's lives, everyday people. And Prototype got something to say. Okay, Prototype, come on.
Who's responsible for having kitty litter in the schools? Is it the government's fault that there's kitty litter in the schools?
The Democrats.
Yeah,
Really?
I mean, because it was brought to the court system, and then the court system had to enforce that is legally allowed to do, because you have to affirm the person in whatever state that they're in. Like, if they say that they're this is what you have to affirm that person. That's where we've gotten to, is affirming people.
Tampons.
I'm not blaming.
It's
It's not blaming if it's a part of a rule. See, you can't say blame. People lobbied for this. They lobbied for this, and while we were being distracted with entertainment and BET Wars and naked women, people were on Capitol Hill lobbying for these things that are ridiculous to us now, where it don't make sense. These are things that are in the law, right? Is they have to affirm these things.
And you're saying the
They don't have
Democrats
to affirm
got
us and what
them in
we've
the
been
law.
through, huh?
Where was the Republicans at in this?
I mean, you could fight against that. I mean, I would assume that they fought against it, but I think when this was passed, there was a majority. Now, hold on, I'm going to ask you a question. When this was passed, there was majority Democrats in office. So, like, when somebody, majority could be majority House is Democrats, majority Republicans, I mean, not Republicans, but majority Senate is Democrats. And at that time, that the majority, which is the majority vote, was that. And so they voted that in under that reign of being the majority at that time.
I think it's good for people
that's
to.
the answer to your question. Huh?
Yeah, I think that what I'm hearing when I'm listening to, like, people out in the streets, what I hear is a misunderstanding of how the government works. Right? That's what it is. It's a, like, there's always been some type of system or government in place. You can go all the way back to biblical times. Okay. There was always a particular majority and whatnot. Like, we talked about it before. Like, Israel had God as their authority, right? And then they wanted a king, and then all the things that came along with that was a trickle-down effect in the decisions of how families were impacted, right? So we fast forward to today in the system of, I think that, like I said before, I think that the problem is that both parties this is what the Democrats do. The Democrats say the reason why things are not moving is because the Republicans are racist, right? But the Republicans do not combat that with saying, no, look what I did, because that I'm not racist. Like, they don't come back and say that, right? So they don't play that particular game, right? So that's the thing that I think that the majority of people that want to say that Republicans are racist, let's say, okay, cool, they are, but you know that, right? Okay, let's say that they are. You know that, like, you're already saying that. But the thing that's weird is that black people that vote Democrat think that Democrats are not racist, right? That's the weird part of things. Okay. And that's what's sad, that things come down to a race as an issue, when the thing that's going on affects the human race, and not just an independent race. Now, there are things that affect us more than others because we're small in number, so it's going to affect us more, right? So for example, the welfare thing, there are more white people on it. Everybody knows that. I knew my homeboy, he worked in that space, and he talked to me about it. That's when I learned about it. He said, but it affects black people more. Okay. There are more people, I would say, of different races that are getting abortions as it relates to numbers. However, it affects black people more. There are, like I told y'all last week, 2% of the population gets 30% of unalive and unborn babies. And Democrats are the ones highly in front of making sure that those babies do not come to fruition, even though it's going to impact white people. They know that it impacts black people more, right? So I think it's important for people to, I think, to see what's the most important thing to you, and then go research that if you even care to be in the conversation of voting. I think that churches need to do a better job, but that's a challenge for churches because some of them are not operating from the biblical landscape of how things should be going, right? And Proto, I'm in education, okay? I had a student that said that he was a girl. He got to use which bathroom?
The girls' bathroom.
Proto, would you be okay with that? With your daughter having a dude in their bathroom?
I mean, if he's gay, I don't care.
You know, gay dudes like straight girls. Gay dudes have sex with straight women all the time, bro.
I mean, I don't understand. Like, so
That's like a sheep saying he's a vegan.
is he grape? Is he graping my daughter or something? Or what's going on here?
Okay, cool. So so what you're saying is you're cool with women in the locker room and men in the locker room and women girls locker room.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I see where you're at. You kind of open scope. Got it? Okay. So
I mean, I just think it's a dumb point to try.
That's fine. That's fine. That you believe that's a dumb point. What I'm saying to you is that there's one. You said how with the differences, and one. I'm saying one protects life, and the other one could care less about it. Is what I'm saying. That's a fact. So like I said, I'm in the education system, and I would have to call. I'm gonna just have to lose out on some things. But if the dude says I want to be called a girl, I gotta call him a girl. How does that affect me? That goes against my moral compass. And that is on the side of the Democrats. Republicans are more like, hey, just do what you want to do as long as it don't infringe upon what I'm doing. That's the difference of which is going on. And so what has happened is that and if you go back to the 1960s, you can see this, like the civil rights movement, you could go listen to Dr. Martin Luther King and him saying that he made a mistake. He said that he made a mistake in what it is that he asked for, and he was running in the position of how Democrats were going to be helping the black people. And I think 2 years later, he said it wasn't what he thought it was going to be. And so they realized that him and Malcolm was about to be on the same page, really. And they took both of them out. And so that is why it's important for you to have an understanding of which one.
So you're saying that the Democrats took both Martin and Martin out? So Martin and Malcolm out?
I'm not going to say that that's for sure, but I highly
Dwayne over here, you not black though, Dwayne. You don't got no dog in this fight, brother.
Hey, you know what I do? I do have a dog in this fight because at the end of the day, we're all human beings. And whenever we're killing each other, whether you're black, you're Mexican, whatever it is, it's still a loss of life. So and wrong is wrong. Doesn't matter what color you are.
So this is my question. How has voting helped people? How has voting helped people? So, like I said, I'm still on the bandwagon of that. I'm undecided on if I'm gonna vote this particular year or not. Just because I think that I do more work. Like I said, I'm in education. I'm a father. I do the podcast. Me and Rilla talk a lot. Me and Dwayne talk a lot. And our conversations do a lot for me in how I handle the show, as well as how I am operating with my kids and my wife, more so than me voting for someone. However, voting has helped people. So I want to talk about how has voting helped people. Let's go, Lawson.
Here's the thing. The reason why voting helps people is because it's more or less on the downstream than it is on the upstream. I'll give you an example. You'll have people, I know people locally here in the city where I'm from, and I hear conversations where people just want to get in office so they can retire. Well, that's not the energy of somebody who I want to represent me. I want somebody who has an earnest want to fix the issues that are plaguing our neighborhood and our communities. You see what I'm saying? Instead of somebody just saying, "Hey, look, I'm close to retirement and I need some extra income and this will do it." You know what I mean? So what happens is we wind up putting people in the office who are not in earnest with actually helping the problem than just showing up and getting a check. It's just like hiring somebody and then all of a sudden they just go to the break room and hang out all day long and then hit the clock on the way out the door. That's the reason why voting helps. And it also helps to get to know your candidates too. How else are you supposed to know in advance that you finna hire somebody that's going to be sitting in the break room all day long versus somebody who's going to come in and say, "Hey, look, what are some of your problems?" So and then they pull out a notebook and they fix it and they write it down and they come with an agenda and say, "Hey, meet me back here at the town square. And we're going to talk about what's the next steps and what else you guys need." And then those people are held accountable for the folks who actually put them in office. Those are the actual type of people we need to have in office versus these people who have been in office since the 70s, whose political positions flip-flop with the wind and they never really serve the people. That's the reason why I'm all for term limits. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be, serving for 40 and 50 years, you know what I mean? And then nothing really gets done. And to my thing is this: I see other countries who actually don't have this problem, and I see how much further their countries have gone versus the same type of rhetoric that we've had over the years, and we have not progressed. So I think that's the main reason why voting helps, but it helps if you're an informed voter. You can't just say, "I'm going to vote the straight Democratic ticket," or "I'm just going to vote the straight Republican ticket." Sometimes you might have to get in there and talk to everybody and cherry pick and put the very best people in that you can possibly do. But how many people actually do that? Do you know how many candidates are actually on there? Do you watch all of the debates? Do you go to your local town squares? Do you go to your city hall meetings to find out who these people are? Do you know their political aspirations? Most people will tell you no, because they're busy going to work, having their families, this type of thing. And then people only show up on the last Saturday or Sunday before church to cast their votes. And all of a sudden these people remember me, you know what I mean? And then they'll put their name and then whatever funny middle name that they had to make you remember them when you go into the ballot box, and that's it. And you don't see them no more. Then people don't come back to report back to you and say, "Hey, look, this is what we did. This is what we completed." So my thing is this: as a people, voting does help, but you got to make sure you put people in office that actually want to do the work for you. And that's the reason why voting helps.
Who you got next?
I'm going to go with Jamie, my sister in politics.
Right. Loss really said it all. And want to emphasize the local vote, because he was talking about what affects your local thing. And a lot of times, like he said, it is somebody getting ready to retire. When you look at him, I actually just seen one guy running for mayor, and on his picture, he looked young. Well, I see him putting the sign up and I said, "Ooh, he old, like he old. I wanted to go out there and help him because you do not look like the same guy on your sign. And just because you're old doesn't mean necessarily that you're wise and that I've seen you before. I've never seen the man before. And we were out, in the streets knocking on people's doors. And so it is important again at a local level, because also to this too, I want you to remember this. Your local level people that you vote for, they actually go for Senate. They do go for Congress a lot of the times. And this is a stepping stone for them. When they get voted into these lower level things, it's really just a stepping stone a lot of the time. So just always remember that they do aspire to get into Congress and Senate because their pay is higher and they get to do less work. All they do is go to the Capitol and argue with one another, and you don't see them. Like, they're never out in the community again. You never see them. And so that's what I wanted to add to what Lost is saying is it is like a retirement plan. For instance, our aldermen get paid here, but they never take the money that they get paid and reinvest it back in the community, because they should already have jobs. They should already have money of their own. They should be doing this because they care about the people. So if the people are paying me $400 a month, let that $400 a month be put back into an area that is lacking in the community. What do you need it for? A lot of these people already got money. So that is, and so voting helps people be, oh, can I be petty? Can I be petty? So I'm gonna be petty with my answer. I was always told, if you don't vote, you don't get to say nothing. You don't get to say, if you don't vote, then you can't say nothing about nothing. You feel me? So that's my petty answer.
How is that the case?
Because when people say,
not to vote, that's an option too. Like, and before it was like you don't have an option.
No, people say if you don't vote, then you can't like argue with other people about who the candidate is, who the president is. You have no right to say anything about anything because you didn't participate in voting. And so,
That doesn't make sense.
To me, it didn't make sense either, but that's what people's argue. Am I lying, Dwayne? Dwayne, have you ever had somebody say?
No, man, that makes sense, man. If you have a right, if you going out with a group of people for work to somewhere to eat, right, and they don't say nothing, sit back there, shut up. Once we get to the place, you look at that menu, you pick something off that menu. If you don't want nothing, just shut up. If you wanted McDonald's, you should have said something. We could have left you at the office.
That's not even okay. With that same analogy. Even though it doesn't connect, but I'll go with the analogy. It doesn't. It's okay, because if I'm in a group with us and y'all say, okay, we're going to go to McDonald's versus Burger King, and you say, and I say, well, it doesn't matter to me. Okay, and we go to McDonald's, and they have horrible service. I can still say they had horrible service.
Well, you should have said you want to go to McDonald's, the other place.
Once I arrive, if I say that doesn't matter to me, right, I can still have the opinion of they had horrible service if they had horrible service. That's like saying.
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is when you argue with people with politics, they say, did you vote? Because if you didn't vote, then you can't say nothing. I've had it. I've had it. That would be Huh?
I'm with you. I'm saying, but Dwayne believes that, and I'm trying to tell him why he's wrong.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Hey, you know what? The good thing is I have the right to be wrong. Okay.
Exactly. And you know what I'm saying? And this one,
I'm gonna exercise that right.
There you go. Exercise the right. Okay. Hey, you already been. What do you think, Dwayne?
It's a duty. It's the duty of the people. So, like, if you feel like you're being represented, then yeah, all right, you don't vote. But if you want representation, then you have the right to vote. So, with that right, I think it's very important if there's a government that no longer represents you, in the Declaration of Independence, it states that it's the right and the duty of the people to put off a government that no longer represents them. So the importance of voting is whenever a government no longer represents you, it's your duty. It's your right.
That's what's up. Prototype. What you got? How has voting helped people? The way you come off the mic, bro, you
Tired. Like, oh my God.
seem disgusted.
Told you he need a Snickers, man.
He was eating already, though. You see him put his face in the side of the camera.
He probably got the itis now.
I think voting is definitely beneficial on a local level. My first election I was able to vote was I think Kerry, and he lost. So I was like, I'm not voting again. So I mean, other than that, like I've definitely came a long way since then. But that was my first cycle, and I was like, well, if he's gonna win and he's still not getting the office. But I didn't understand how it did electoral and everything. But as I grew, definitely vote at your local level, be involved in all the meetings, town halls and all that. You know what I'm saying? The school board, all that. You want full parts of that. So when we're talking about Democrats and all this, that's what I'm talking about as far as. So you're blaming the Democrats for that? No, I'm blaming my school board for putting kitty litter in the bathroom. I'm not blaming Democrats. I'm blaming the school board. You know what I'm saying? I should have been there to put hope to that. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm talking to. It's this whole Democrat Republican thing is. I really don't have a dog in that fight. But when we come to what's going on around my community and that kind of stuff, I'm well engaged. So
that's phenomenal, Doc. Like I rock with that too. And that's why I'm appreciative of that you asked the question, having an idea in mind, but you're trying to see if somebody can literally pinpoint to you what are the Democrats doing that is affecting our local environment, right? And that's a fair question as well, because when you talk about the board, that goes back to it again. When you're voting for people who go on the board, they're gonna make it about the left and the right again. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna make it about Republicans and Democrats again at that particular level as well. I think it's important for people to get involved wherever they can to make a difference and not rely on other people to be the change they want to see. Right? Like if I change the way that I think as it relates to thinking that somebody else is going to be equipped to bring people together to realize that, as you said, Prototype, that the nuclear family is the most important thing outside of having a relationship with Christ. If I just say that and don't try to do something about it, like just be single the entire time and not be trying to, I guess it would be like being an advocate without action, right? How can you advocate for something and you're not trying to be a participant in the thing that you're saying to do, right? You're big on family, so therefore you operate with your family a lot. Y'all coaching together, y'all go outside and hang out together. It's a big deal for you as it relates to what family is, and so you operate in that space. So I commend you for that. And so that's what I challenge other people to do that watch the show. That for me, I'm not talking about anything that I'm not doing and requiring others to do. Right? You can talk to Dwayne. You can talk to anybody that's met me. If I'm challenging you to do it, make sure it's something that I'm trying to do myself. And I just think that's what more people have to realize about either party. Right? When you look at either party, or is the candidate doing what it is that they're saying that they believe in? And does that align with your beliefs? And focus on your local election more so than the every 4 years election. And I guarantee you'll see a totally different perspective. Hey, y'all been around the school system when they start trying to get you to vote on a bond.
Yeah.
They be super focused on getting you to vote. Right?
Of course. I'm talking about the money, man.
If they took that same energy when it came to the local election, and literally educating people and not just putting a sign up and saying Joe whoever or Brenda whoever is a Democrat, is a Republican. So you just that's how they got us. They believe that people are only going to vote, which is true, only going to vote based on what animal they see. Right? And they know that we're not going to go look and see what people stand for. And so therefore that's why we are where we are. And I'm just asking people in the
You
church.
know, can I speak to that a little bit though?
Bro, go ahead.
Because I'm trying to see. Can you hear me, or am I still lagging?
No, you're good. We're gonna end on you though.
Trying to see what people stand for. Like people post whatever. You truly never know. Like they give you those little cards, or they post it on their website. Like you really gotta dig deep and be involved and know these people. You know what I'm saying? Like I coach with them. You know what I'm saying? Like I coach their kids. That's how I know the people. Like, but just trying to read that little thing they give you or the website, I guess you could try to follow where they voted before, but it's just unless you truly know somebody, it's just kind of hard to really pull for whatever. Like, so that's when it's such a thing. Like, man, you really never know unless your fingers are in the mud, is in the dirt with it. You know what I mean? You don't really know. So all of it to me. It comes off as a waste of time or as a hoax. I don't know what's true.
So how do you decide if you're in the local election? How you decide on who you vote for?
I know these people.
Oh, okay. So
I coach these kids. I coach their kids. I know the schools. I know the principals. I know these people. Like I'm well ingrained into the community. They know me. Like, you know what I mean? So that's how I decide. Outside of that, I can't really. And then I can go off of, I trust this collection of people that have relationships, and they're like, oh, well, this person's cool. Let me check this out. And, it's kind of like word of mouth at that point.
That's how most people get voted in. Prototype.
It's word of mouth.
Yeah, that's how most people get voted in.
So that's how. But I mean, other than that, but if you don't know that, or if you're not a part of the community or what's going on, or you don't know who to go talk to hold accountable. You lost in the sauce. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely don't know who to talk to at a presidential level. You know what I'm saying? But
that's really good, bro. Well, I appreciate each and every one of you for giving your time today. Make sure y'all check out these people everywhere they go. You got Lost in Translation, his podcast. You got Dwayne Jones in photography. Prototype. Is it this Tuesday? Because I know it's every other Tuesday.
Yeah, we rocking and rolling tomorrow. Hey, I might invite some of y'all up, man. If y'all free, it's going to be a powerful conversation. I'm gonna let y'all know the details of it if y'all available for tomorrow night.
FBA only.
That is not true. I got a close friend of mine who actually helped start the podcast, who's also Jamaican. But I had this conversation with him too.
A long time.
And don't forget to check out It's Me, Jamie, on all platforms. Hey, man, I really appreciate y'all. Thanks for being consistent. Y'all keep me going. And until next time, we out here. Deuces.
The boy is dangerous. Seem to understand something.
The thing that I like most about being a dad is that I see that I'm about to impact the world.